Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. My name is Amy Williams and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's hot in Texas. It is actually August 27th, 2023. I had to think about that a little bit. So it's Sunday, August 27th, 2023, and I am so happy you're here. It's still hot in Texas. I said it last week. I'm saying it again. It's hot, but I am ready for fall. So today's card is a fall card that I think is beautiful. And really, I actually made this card with my stamp club, and I made two versions of it. And I said, okay, you have to decide. Well, they must have sat there for like 5 minutes going, well, I like this one. And I'm like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So they finally picked one. But today I'm going to show you both of them, because I was like, well, if they had a hard time choosing, then I'm going to do that. Before I forget, please like and subscribe. It's right down here. If you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. You can ring that bell for notifications when I do a new video. I try to do one every Sunday. Now that I'm back in school, I'm a little more consistent. I do it better. I don't know why the summer when I'm off, because I'm a school librarian, I don't know why it's harder, but for some reason summers get crazy, but I'm back at it. I'm very excited. So a lot of exciting things happening in Stampin' Up! Coming up in September. Our new mini catalog. This is it. It is amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I placed a rather large order. Rather large. And still didn't get everything I want. So then I did another smaller order that comes on Wednesday. I think the paper in this catalog is some of the prettiest paper we have had in, I don't know, I just loved all of it. And it was so funny because at Stamp Club the other night, I had this big stack of it. And I was like, okay, they go, did you get everything? And I was like, I think there was one I didn't get. I didn't get a Halloween one because I don't have small children and I don't do a lot of Halloween cards. But everything was so pretty. I just had to do that. So if you would like a copy of this, or if you need a demonstrator, I would be honored to be that demonstrator for you. All of my information and the link to my website is down below in the more. If you click more in the description, it's down at the bottom. I would love to have your business. So I really appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna flip the camera. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. I am not using a fall stamp in here, but we are making a fall card because I want you to remember that our stamps are very versatile. So just because you have a stamp that isn't a fall stamp doesn't mean you can't make a fall card with it. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm using the Inked and Tile stamp set, which honestly at first I didn't buy. And I think it was one we could have pre-ordered, and I was like, I'm good. I don't think I need that stamp. Well, the more I've seen people use it, the more I'm like, oh yeah, I need that stamp set. So I bought it, and this idea kind of came into my head, and I was like, that's it. This stamp set is the perfect stamp set. So I'm going to show it to you. Let me flip the camera and show you what we're going to do. I'm just too excited today. Here we go. All right. There's our lovely catalog. Oh my gosh, y'all. It is gorgeous. Okay. So here is the stamp set we're using. Inked and Tiled. Okay, we are going to use that. Now, I am actually also the sentiment, because when we were doing this, I had brought a bunch of sentiments down for people to choose from. And I did the, we used Something Fancy. Some of us used this, May the Good You Do Come Back to You. I also had the Courage and Faith. I think this is an absolutely wonderful stamp set. It didn't quite fit. I decided to make the tag size smaller, so some of these didn't fit, but this one does fit. And this one barely fits. You can kind of get it on there. So that one, those two fit. This one was just almost too big. So that's, but I do love this one. So I did that. I brought this out for them to use. And so, but I didn't bring the one that is in the new set, this So Sincere. This is in the new catalog. I love this set, and I just noticed it even has a happy birthday that goes down. Oh, wow. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad I saw that. Okay, so we're going to use this one, and I think I'm going to use one from the Courage and Faith. I'm going to do In Everything Give Thanks, because I think what we're doing. So we're using this stamp from this set, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. That's the only one we need from that. And oh, let me show you the cards. All right, this is one of the ones we're gonna do. I've used copper embossing powder to emboss these. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how to do this technique. So that's the first one. And then here is the second one we're going to do. It's a very similar technique, but I wanted to show you both techniques. I think these cards, I mean, they're very similar. So I thought, well, I don't want to do 2 videos, but you know, on kind of the same layout. So we're going to do 2 cards, and that's just, you're going to love it. And then, oh my goodness, I didn't notice this when I did the first, when I was doing this, but we have this fall paper. And y'all, oh, it is, I know that this camera is not going to do it justice, but it is so gorgeous. So it's got beautiful scenes, and it's kind of funny because every other one is kind of a one that you would use in fall and one you can pretty much use all year. So there's this, but look at the back. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's got that shimmer to it, okay? And then knitter. So I'm a knitter. So for me to see knitting patterns, I was like, yay. And then, oh, y'all, pretty peacock. That's my color. It's got that shine. I can use that all day long. Then there's another gorgeous fall scene. Look at this. I mean, you just cut that and you put it on there. You've got a beautiful thing. And then you've got this copper clay. How gorgeous is that? Oh, I love it. Wood, you can use this all year round. Any of the backs you can use any year. This is Moody Mauve. This is not just a fall color. So I love that. You've got this beautiful fall colors right here. And you've got gorgeous cards with that. And then olive, old olive, love it. This gorgeous navy fabric look. And then the back is this stunning, hope you can see that it is shimmery. Oh, I just love it. Okay, let me turn that over. Okay. Then we have adorable, beautiful pumpkins. I love all the different pumpkins that you can get now. They're not just regular orange. With another pretty peacock, which I love. And then, okay, the librarian in me got a little giddy when I saw this. Hello, books, bookshelf, that's me. And then this is copper clay, and I actually used this on the card. We're going to change my card up a little bit. Fall leaves, fantastic, with Moody Mauve on the back. This gorgeous leather, I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful masculine card that makes. I mean, you can do so much with that, with old olive on the back. And then these leaves, I just think are stunning, with another old olive. And then the last one is another book and bookshelves, okay, with some more of that white. I mean, you can use this all year round, guys. And that's something I love about this paper because, I mean, it's just, I just love it. So I did cut out a tag, so we are going to use a little bit of that because I thought of it. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to be doing 2, excuse me, sets of embossing. Hang on just a second. I really want, yeah. I'm going to try to keep my work surface semi clean today. You know, that probably isn't going to happen very well, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. All right, so we're going to use this, okay? And I'm going to put my card front on here. So this card front is actually 3.5 by 4 3/4. I made it a little bit smaller, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Versamark. Yes, I'm going to use the Versamark. I'm going to put my, we're going to do all of our embossing kind of at the same time. So I'm going to stamp these. No, I'm not. Okay. I gotta think. I'm not used to doing 2 cards. Yeah, let me go ahead and do the copper first. All right, so we're gonna stamp this. I'm gonna do my embossing buddy. This becomes extremely important on the second card because that ink isn't always dry. All right, so I am just gonna start by putting Versamark and just stamping it. And you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm going to try to get it to where you can. There it is. I think you can see that. All right. So I'm just going to stamp along this side here. Okay. And then I'm going to do one coming like that. So I've got that. And then I'm going to go along the bottom just like that. Okay. So I've got my stamp done. And I'm going to get my copper clay embossing powder, or copper embossing clay. Ugh. Speak, Amy. Copper embossing powder. And now that we have copper clay, I absolutely love that they go so well together. So that makes me really happy. All right. I have a spoon somewhere, but if you know me, you know, well, I don't really do that. Okay. So here is my copper. So I'm going to get my embossing heat tool and I'm going to emboss it. And you're going to see it's just going to shine up here. Just a second. I gotta put my glasses. Oh, where they are. All right. Oh, there it is. See, it's starting to come. Here it is. And you get this gorgeous copper, right? Oh, yeah. Look at that. I am in love with it. I love to emboss. It is one of my absolute favorite things to do. I do it a lot. I know that. But I just think that it gives so much depth and excitement to your cards. I just absolutely love it. So that is why I emboss so much. If you ever wondered why is she such a weirdo. All right. Anybody else love to emboss? Let me know in the comments because I love to hear about what people love to do. And as I say, embossing is one of my absolute favorite things to do. Okay. So I'm going to do this next step with the two cards together. So I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to have this one and then I'm going to have a blank card. Okay. This isn't all going to fit in here, but that's okay. You know, I'm always messy. Okay. So I need to leave this on top. I always put my embossing video on top of my Versamark to remind myself to do it because 9 times out of 10, I do forget. And you know, I did want to do one more thing. For my inside of the card, I want to copper emboss that too. I really have started noticing that I need to do the inside of cards more. And every time I do the inside of a card, I'm like, gosh, that's so pretty. Why don't I do that all the time? And so I'm going to do that today. All right. And y'all remind me, Amy, always do the inside. You're not live. You can't really remind me. But in theory, I should write it on my piece of paper that's in front of me that I just figured out. Y'all have had this Outlight for 10 years probably. And that's the light I use in my studio and in here when I do my recordings. And last week, I was looking at it because I forget to say things. And so, you know, I go, I should probably write some things down because I forget to say them. And I looked up and I realized there is a clip on this Outlight because it's really meant for like, you know, sewing and stuff. Right there, duh. So I was like, well, maybe I should actually use that. So I did make my notes today and I should write on this piece of paper, Amy, do the inside. But I didn't. I just had the paper out to do it. So, okay. I decided to do both of them copper on the inside instead of doing the other technique on it. So that is why. Okay, so then I've got this for both cards. And that's just a nice little inside beautiful little thing right there. Hope you can see that. Okay. Now we're going to do our colors, okay? Now the colors I'm using today are crushed curry, pumpkin pie, copper clay, which I love, and blackberry bliss. And if you notice, you know, at Stamp Club the other night, one of the ladies was like, why did you use blackberry bliss? That doesn't seem like a fall color, but oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Well, if you really look at a leaf, it does have those purples in there. So I'm going to start with my lightest color on here. I'm going to start with crushed curry, and I'm going to tap it off. And I'm just going to do some places with crushed curry. I'm not going to fill it up. Okay, I'm just going to do some places with it. And then I'm going to get my pumpkin pie. Okay, and do the same kind of thing. Just going to try to add that. You can always go darker, lighter, darker, but you can't go lighter. My words today. All right, Amy, you're not getting it in there, are you? All right, so I'm going to do that. And I'm leaving this part blank, which I just messed that up, didn't I? So I'm going to have to use a little bit. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I'll fix it. We'll make that work. Don't worry. I'll put something there. Don't worry. All right, the next one I'm going to use is copper clay. I love this copper clay, especially for fall. I think it just adds some beautiful color and depth and dimension. All right, just do a little bit more of that. This is when I really try to go off and then on, especially with a darker color. You want to do that. And then last but not least, I'm going to add a little bit of Blackberry Bliss. And I think that that little bit of purple in there just really sends this home with fall, right? Okay, so I'm just going to bring that in, bring it up, and do that. And if you want to go back and do a little crushed curry again on there, you can, whatever you like, until you are happy with the way this looks. And I am actually happy with the way this looks. Now you are going to want to get a towel and just kind of brush this off a little bit, because you are going to get some on this, okay? Now, I've got this. I'm going to set it to the side. I know that little piece is driving everybody crazy, but don't worry. I'll figure out a way to fix it, okay? Don't worry. It's gonna work. I promise. All right, so now this one is just a blank sheet of paper. It is the exact same size, and I'm going to do the same thing to this. I have not embossed it. I have not done anything to this, okay? I'm just adding a little bit of yellow. Okay, a little bit of pumpkin pie. Every time I say pumpkin pie, I want to sing, "My Mom is American Pie." I don't know why, but it just comes to my head. But, you know, maybe I'm showing my age. All right. There's that. Let's do a little copper clay. And I'm just gonna kind of do this like that. All right. And then last but never least, we're gonna add some of this purple in here, this Blackberry Bliss, which I just think brings home the colors of fall. I'm gonna bring it over here a little bit. Okay. So there's this. Again, I didn't go into this. I could have, it wouldn't have mattered. But if you want this a little darker, you can always have it a little darker, okay? So there's that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and close these up because, well, if I've already messed up one card, maybe I should, oh, look at that. All right, let's see. Oh, I got stuff all over that. All right, see? That's why you close your ink pads when you're not using them, because Amy can be a bit of a mess. All right, let's see this over here. And then I'm going to take all of these and move them out of the way so that I don't get ink on something, which chances are pretty good I will. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on this card that I did on the other cards. I'm going to emboss, but this time when I emboss, I'm going to use clear. I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to use clear, okay? But first, I'm going to use my embossing buddy. And the reason you want to make sure you do that with this card, because this ink is still wet. And your Versamark or your embossing powder can attach to this. So you really want to make sure you use that. All right, so let's do this, okay? I don't know why I always start with the corner, but I do. You don't have to. It's an Amy thing. That's just how I do things, you know. And I want to try not to overlap any flowers. Let's see if I'm going to do that like that. That kind of gives it another look. Okay, so there's that. And this time, I'm going to emboss with clear embossing powder. Okay. All right. Let's see. My clear embossing powder has got some goop in it. I don't know how that happened, but... Now, I will say, I'm going to give this some good little hits because it does still like to stick to that. See? So I'm going to get my glasses on. My old age glasses, my old lady glasses, and just kind of see how we're doing. Some of this might be embossing buddy stuff. So I think we're good. All right. So now I'm going to clear emboss this, okay? And you're going to see in just a second, it's going to start to shine for us. Oh, there it comes already. Do you see that shimmer? Just a little bit. You just kind of see that. And you want to make sure you kind of have to hold this. When you're doing clear embossing, you do kind of have to hold it at different angles to see when it's all done, because you just can't always see, and you want to make sure you do. Okay, so there's that. Just like that. Let's get the end of this. Oh, it wasn't shiny. Sometimes I miss the tips. I think you kind of, it's easy to do. And you want to go back and just check to make sure everything's super shiny. And I think I'm good. All right, so I'm going to turn this off. Now, in order to get this effect, I'm going to use Night of Navy here, okay? So I've got Night of Navy here. And I just inked this little baby up, and let me tell you, he's juicy. He's a very, very juicy thing. So I'm just going to make sure this is all dry. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this with navy. Okay. Now, when I first did this card, I went all dark, dark navy. And my stamp club was like, well, can we leave some of it cream? Well, I always tell them when they're doing their cards, this is your card. You can do anything you want. So you do you. I want them to love their card when they go home. So I want them to do what is good for them. Okay, so I'm going to get this part super dark. But then I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going a little lighter here. And I'm going to have to use my fingers there. And I'm just going a little lighter here. And you can see that I have my fingers on there, little fingers showing. And then you just kind of, and that's kind of lighten it over in this corner right there. So that is that. Now, that looks okay. You can kind of see those leaves and you're like, all right, Amy, it's okay. But now I'm going to get my towel. And this is where the magic happens. Look at that. All those colors that you had underneath now show up. Isn't that so cool? I just love reverse emboss. And you can see from my cards, like this is the one I did at Stamp Club. I did more yellow, and they're very different. This one almost looks like copper. This one, you could see the variegations differently. I'll be honest, when I did Stamp Club, I actually accidentally used Night of Navy on the card, but I love the look of these. Okay, so let's finish our cards. We have 2 card fronts, and then I have 2 of these. Now, these are from the Fancy Labels dies, and I'm going to show you those. This is them, okay? And I used this one right here, the smaller one of this. Now, it comes with this piece right here that's separate. Do you see that? This is a separate piece. It goes right there. But this is the cutout on it. So I just used some washi tape and taped it down, especially since I was making like 10 or 15 of them for Stamp Club. So I just did that, and then I'm going to stick that there. I'm going to leave the washi tape on there because I will probably use that pretty soon. So that is just how that worked. So I just wanted you to see that. I love this fancy label set. It is so cute. There's also a tag set in the annual catalog that I had actually not seen until now. And I said, hey, I'm going to buy that. So I did, but it comes Wednesday, so I couldn't wait. All right, so I am using the stamp set on this one I'm going to use is You're in My Heart and Prayers. So I feel like I always need a little bit of a, I hate it, but you do. Sometimes you need these. So I'm going to do that. You know what? I'm probably going to do this one again because I think it should be not upside down. All right, well, that's why you always have a spare, because you're Amy and that's what you do. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. You're in my heart and in my prayers. So I'm going to do that one. Now, also really love the Courage and Faith ones. And I really want to do In Everything Give Thanks. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this puppy fit. If it kills me, all right, it may, but I'm going to try very, very hard. All right, let's see if I can do it. I don't think it's going to work. It doesn't. You know what? It just doesn't. If I leave the theologians part, I could get it, but I love the verse. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to do 2 of the In Everything Give Thanks because I thought that was going to happen, but I really hoped it wouldn't. All right. You're in my heart and in my prayers. Sorry. So, all right. Okay. Now we're going to put these beauties together. Okay. So for this one, okay. Oh, I need, my copper clay ribbon. Now there is copper ribbon in the catalog, which is gorgeous, and I do have it, but I wanted to use something in the annual catalog, and it does go with the copper clay paper, so I thought we're going to do that. All right, so I've cut these at an angle. All right, and I like this hole because it's nice and big, and it's, I think, idiot proof. I'm going through the back because I like the look of that better. You can go either way, but this copper clay ribbon is so, I just think it's stunning. So I'm going to pull it through a little bit more and then tighten it up like that. And then of course I am going to cut these because I cut it large. All right. And then I'll do that. And then let's do this one. Same thing from the back. Okay. Again, that So Sincere set is in the new catalog, which, oh, y'all, there was a set on there that I used with Stamp Club, and every single one of them. So 3 of the people in the room, 4 of the people, everybody, not everybody, but 4 of the people in the room were demonstrators, because I have people that are under me come, people that are in my larger group in my upline. One of them comes. Just get new ideas and stuff. And so, oh, Amy, you messed up. I didn't put the back part on them. There was one stamp set, and I don't know if you've seen it, but here it is. It's Curved Occasions. This one is in the new mini catalog, and it was funny because every one of us had overlooked this set. We'd gone right past it. They were like, that's not in the mini. I said, it is in the mini. And the card we did used it, and they absolutely loved it. So this is a Curved Occasions. So cute. It is in the new catalog that is coming out very soon in September. I love, love, love it. Okay, let me get this back in here. because I did mess that up. I forgot to put the backs on there. So I did put 2, because when we put them on, we're going to put them on like this, and we're going to fix that one so that it goes over my mistake, because that's how I roll, right? I always tell you I'm real. I don't edit my videos, because you need to see that if you make that same mistake, that's how you fix it. I think that you can only learn by having mistakes. And I make them all the time. Now I'm using this, and the other side is the bookshelf, which, gosh, kind of bugs me. I hate cutting a bookshelf, but that's okay. I'll live. So I just thought that was so pretty. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, Amy, why didn't you see that the first time? But again, sometimes it takes some time. All right, this is gonna go in here. All right, sadly, I have needed this saying for several people lately. I've had, people that have just had a hard time, and I think this is a good way to, help them out and remind them that, they are in your hearts and prayers. And I have lost my adhesive. How is it not here? Let's see. It's not. It was in my drawer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a little adhesive here and put it like that. Same thing here, because I want them to stay apart so that you see it, right? So I did want that. And then I'm gonna turn them over, and I'm gonna use Dimensionals, because isn't that what I always do, is use Dimensionals? All right, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Let's put this. I'm going to put this, I think, like that. Do that. And then this one, I'm going to cover up that mistake, because I make them. I know I make mistakes, y'all. I make them all the time, but we could just kind of do it like that. I'm not going to do that. No, Amy, that's okay. I'm going to do it right there. So you can still covers that, but I like where that is better. All right, now for this one, I'm going to mat this on navy, okay? So I'm going to mat this on navy. Okay. And I'm going to put it on a copper clay thing. And you know what? I'm going to dimensional this, because I like to do the dimensionals. All right. Okay. Doesn't have to be way high. I don't know, I just like that look a little bit when I pull it off. And I've cut this a little bit smaller. I wanted a bigger band around of the copper clay background showing. So I made these, that's why I made these a little bit smaller. And then of course on the inside, I'm gonna do my pretty little flower, only one. Okay. All right, now if you have this set and like this technique and go, yeah, but it's, March, I don't really want to do that. Maybe you're watching this in March. I don't know. So what you can do is and this one I'm going to mount on white, do greens. Do this in greens and then this in either navy or black, and it would be absolutely stunning. So you can use the same thing, just a little bit different, okay? So this technique is not necessarily only for this fall card, right? If you have flowers you want to use, whatever you have, that's what you do, right? I just want people to make sure that you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of our stamps. They're not one occasion sets, and I love that. Don't think that you don't have to buy everything unless you're me and you just want it all. But sometimes our budgets do not allow for everything. And we're like, fall is only a couple months, and then we get into Christmas. I don't want to buy a whole fall set, and that's perfectly okay. That's why we take this and use something we have to make it fall. All right. And then we're going to do the inside of this. Take that off. All right. Then you have your place to write your note or your sentiment or whatever you want to say to your friend. All right. So here are my cards. These two, basically a very similar technique, but I think very different look, you know. So I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. Guys, I hope in your area that you're not burning to death because it's so flipping hot. It's supposed to get really cool next week. It's going to get in the 90s. And let me tell you, we're pretty excited about that. Believe it or not, the 90s are pretty exciting for us. So have a fantastic week. Remember, I am always here for you. If you have questions, I love getting comments. I love answering your comments and reading them. I just get so excited when you say you might like something I do. It makes me really happy. And again, if you need a demonstrator, I'm it. I also sell Mary Kay. So if you need that, I'm your girl. Have a great week and make something beautiful. Bye.